in Scotland. We've shown that today. It's evident today. In Scotland, we're leading the way in solidarity with Palestinian hunger strikers. HANA SHALABI is in her 6th week of hunger strike. The BBC, all the mass media have totally ignored her. That's why it's up to us to raise the profile of this. I think students in Scotland have led the way. We need to mobilise nationally, we need to mobilise internationally to show the plight of the Palestinian hunger strikers. And something I want to say is that HANA SHALABI is not hunger striking just against the administrative detention techniques. She is not just hunger striking against a tactic of the apartheid regime. She's hunger striking for the liberation of Palestine. The Palestinian prisoners are leading the fight for the liberation of Palestine, as they always have done. So I think we need to appreciate that. The Palestinian hunger strikers, over 25 of them now, are leading the way. So I think we need to applaud them for that. One thing I want to say is, where do we go from here? We have mobilised hundreds of people to march in Glasgow today. But this is obviously just the beginning. We need to step up our resistance. We need to escalate this. We need to move forward. That's why we need to continue, and we need to lead the way in Scotland, I think, by calling more days of action in solidarity with HANA SHALABI. HANA SHALABI is making a massive sacrifice. She's calling out to people internationally, she's calling out to people in Palestine to escalate the resistance. So we need to show our solidarity and do that. So that's why today must be the beginning. We need to step this up. We need to continue our actions in solidarity with HANA SHALABI and all the Palestinian hunger strikers, because there is an intifada happening just now, and it's happening inside the Palestinian and by the Palestinian prisoners inside the Israeli dungeons. They are leading the intifada, and we must respond here in equal measure. So solidarity with HANA SHALABI, all the
hunger. Our next speaker is Mahmoud Mahdi, who's a student at Glasgow University.
الحرية لفلسطين والحرية لهناء الشلبي. Freedom for Palestine and freedom for HANA SHALABI. Has been a significant day for all young people in Scotland to show that we are leading an international struggle against Zionism and imperialism. Today, I don't think I've heard of any other marches that have been going on at this point. But I'll tell you one thing about HANA SHALABI. HANA SHALABI is not only leading an intifada within the Israeli prisons, she is continuing on the job of all the martyrs who fought in Tahrir Square, in Benghazi, in Yemen, in Syria. She is leading the struggle for true democracy for Arab people in the Arab region. She is leading an intifada that will shake and break American imperialism and the foundations of Zionism. Today, we need to remember this day as a very significant one, because HANA SHALABI will be the symbol of not only just any intifada. Right now, what's the difference between our generation and the older generation? The old generation that saw Sabra Shalatin, the old generation that saw the sellout of PA. We are the generation that saw American decline, fail in Afghanistan, fail in Iraq. We are the generation that saw people, women and men fighting in Tahrir Square, fighting in Benghazi and fighting all across the Arab world. Remember, all we need is a flare, and that flare can deepen all the revolutionary process for true democracy for the Arab people and the destruction of American imperialism and Zionism. Zionists of Britain, consider yourselves warned. We are all HANA SHALABI.
Is Mick Napier about just now? He would like to invite him up to speak. Mick, here he comes. Yeah, our next speaker is Mick Napier from Scottish Palestine Solidarity Campaign. Welcome, Mick.
Comrades, some incredibly heroic Palestinian fighters some years ago captured an Israeli soldier. They captured an Israeli soldier in an activity. If Brits and Americans had done it, it would have been a Hollywood mini-series. And they captured this individual soldier
and they kept him prisoner in Gaza. The Israelis kidnapped 10,000 Palestinians, many thousands of Palestinians, and torture them regularly, routinely. To go to an Israeli prison as a Palestinian is to encounter torture. It is inescapable. And Tony Blair went to the Middle East as the official peacekeeper, and he demanded the immediate, unconditional release of the single Israeli prisoner held by Palestinians. And he ignored the demonstrations by families in Palestine demanding the release of their loved ones. Who's Tony Blair? You might scrape him off your feet on a bad day when you walk on the wrong pavement. But friends, let's make a serious point. When Ban Ki-moon, the UN Secretary General, visited Gaza recently, people there threw shoes at his car. They threw shoes because governments, the UN, institutions across the whole world are joining with the Israelis to complete the ethnic cleansing of Palestine. And the rage and the anger of Palestinians is deep and justified. We have to give them our unconditional support. We have to struggle to make sure that Glasgow City Council stops subsidising Israel through dealing with the Israeli company Eden Springs. Friends, the chain of guilt reaches, my final point, the chain of guilt reaches from the settlers who murder and kill with impunity, the Israeli army who kill children, the shocking murder of Jewish children in Toulouse a few days ago is abominable. The Israelis do this every month to Palestinian children. They kill Palestinian children, and the soldiers who do it get off scot-free 100% of the time. Friends, it's an honour to be here. It's an honour to address so many young people coming out for justice. And the BBC, God knows what BBC stands for. I think it's very similar, a bit more sophisticated, but very similar to the North Korean news agency. Friends, we stand with Palestinians because nobody else does. Only the people of the world, only people like us, and by God, we are going to win.
Thank you very much, Nick. Our next speaker is from Stop the War Coalition. I just wanted to make a quick comment. We're all remarking on how great the turnout has been today, and it has been absolutely fantastic. This demo was called by student Palestine societies at Glasgow, Cali, Edinburgh and Dundee University, and then we got amazing support off a number of organisations, and just wanted to say thanks again to all those organisations who have supported us in loads of different ways this week. Trying to call a demo this last minute, I'm sure you can imagine, takes a lot of organising. It's been really great having the support we have. The thing is that Hannah Shalabi has been on hunger strike for the longest of all the Palestinian prisoners, but there are a lot behind her, and we want to be able to mobilise like this for every single one of them. So if you could come and find Liam, who spoke just now, or any one of us, and we're going to be trying to get everyone's information, everyone's details, so that we can have a sort of network of support, so that in future when we're calling demos, we've already got everyone's details. We're going to have an email address. We've got an email address set up, which is weareallhannahshalabi@gmail.com, and you can email us, and we'll add you to the email list. And it'd be really, really great if everyone would do that. But yeah, come and find us afterwards, and we'll give you a bit more information. But our next speaker is Joshua Brown from Stop the War Coalition.
It's good to be here at the BBC again. I remember the last time we were here, there weren't quite enough police to stop us at the doors. And we spent the night in the BBC until they got the head of programming down to speak to us. Why? Why were we here? There's a lot of familiar faces. We spent a lot of time in this lobby. And why were we here? Because the BBC refused to show a humanitarian aid appeal for the people of Gaza when they were murdered by the racist state of Israel. Now, is it a coincidence that we haven't heard a word about Hana Shalabi in 37 days of hunger striking on the BBC when we didn't get 1 minute's worth of airtime to call for humanitarian aid for the people of Gaza? Is that a coincidence? No. Is it a coincidence that they won't show a minute about Hana Shalabi and the other 25 hunger strikers on the BBC, but they're more than happy to put the fascist BNP leader Nick Griffin on the BBC? Is it a coincidence? We see a trend developing here where the BBC seems to support right-wing, fascist and apartheid individuals and states over the rights of ordinary individuals fighting for freedom and democracy. Is that a coincidence? The fact that the BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation, is blocking Hana Shalabi's protests against administrative detention and the inhumane treatment of Palestinians by Israel is not a coincidence, because Britain, the British state, is the source of administrative detentions. The British state in 1945 passed the martial laws in the then mandate, the British Mandate of Palestine, which established the policies which are the laws that Israel uses to condemn, exploit, murder, torture, and generally imprison the people of Palestine. Indefinite detention without charge, curfews, closing off the territories to any humanitarian aid. These are all policies that were established by the British in 1945 that the Israelis have held on to and that they're using today to kill, starve, and generally try to silence the Palestinian people and their cause. But we know that the Palestinian people will not be silenced. We can see that today, and we need to see that in cities around the world. So the one thing to say about Palestinians is that they have something that in Arabic is called samidun. They have a certain type of indefeatability. They carry on, and they've inspired struggles across the Middle East and around the world. So I have one thing to say. Sawra, Sawra, hatta nas! Sawra, Sawra, hatta nas! Sawra, Sawra, hatta nas! Viva, viva Palestina! Palestine will be free! Free Hana Shalabi!
Thank you very much. I think Liam is going to introduce our next speaker.
Yeah, I just think it's important that we have a couple of words from Palestinians who are here today. So I'd like to give the mic over to Maya, who's a Palestinian student at Dundee University.
Hi, I'm not much of a public speaker, but I'm just going to say on behalf of all the Palestinians, thank you so much for showing so much solidarity with my nation. It is such an honour to have grown up in Scotland and had so much support in the fact that my family are refugees and we're living over here, and the people over here are so accepting of our story and are supporting us and the hunger strikers. So yeah, just wanted to say thank you.
Hi, my name is Aladdin. I'm a Palestinian refugee from Lebanon. I live in a Palestinian refugee called Shatila camp, where the massacre happened in 1982. I just have not a lot of words to say, and I just saw the support for Palestinians in Glasgow. A very big support, and thank for everyone for here today. And just say free Palestine, free Hana Shalabi, and free for all of us. And one day, I hope all of us will march to Palestine and free Palestine.
Inshallah! Yes!
Thank you so much. Thank you. I think, yeah, we're just going to wrap up in a couple of minutes. I think, is Patrick going to speak? Patrick will be able to say a bit. Yes, Dom from FRFI is going to come and say. Alright, Joy from FRFI.
No, it's just to thank the comrades again for coming out today. We feel pleased and happy to be in the streets of Glasgow. We've ended up outside the dead zone in the BBC today.
And this is part of a historic struggle. We need to